Hey there, Super Dungeon Explorers. In this kind of a bonus episode, I was going to show you guys how I package and keep all my stuff in neat little boxes. Someone asked before in the comments, what do I use? Because once you start collecting a lot of Super Dungeon Explorer miniatures, they really do take up a lot of space. But even if you don't have a lot, or if you just have the core box, or if you have everything as I do, it takes up a lot of space. But the way that I keep everything is using foam inserts. You can go to any sort of craft store and just get like a sheet of foam board, and it's super cheap. But what you do is you take that and you cut it out and you make it into certain box designs to fit inside your boxes here. Now this I made myself. I made the templates all myself, really just kind of going off of what I needed. So, I measured out how much would all the tiles be on the top, plus the rule books here, and I left myself with that much room. So here's what I got in my Forgotten King box. It's a modular design here. It's a vertical design. So these are a lot of trays stacked on top of other trays. But check it out. So here I have all the status effects and hearts and potions and all that good stuff. This comes out just as one little tray. You can just set that off to the side. Put it off when you're playing the game. And then under that, you can see I have a spot here for my heroes, for my treasure, and for my loot decks. And my cards are all sleeved. So I've definitely got, ample space. For a lot of the other trays that I've made for my other tabletop games, they don't have, they're cut around just the normal card size and not cards with sleeves on them. So for people who like to have sleeves on their cards, I think I love this setup. And then here on the other side, I have all of the thin cards, from the pets to the reference cards to the boss exploration cards, and this is where the arcade deck and the explorer deck go. And just set that off to the side right there. And then right there is here's a spot for dice. It's not the only spot for dice, but because remember I have everything. So these are actually the old set of dice that I had from my original core set. So you don't need to have dice there because you can have so much other space that I'm about to show you. But yeah, this tray just goes right on top of that. You see, I measured out how tall the decks are, how much I need from here, and it just slides right in. So it's no problem. So down here, I've got a bunch of other modular stuff going on here. So here's a deep tray. There's nothing on top of this or below this. It's just a deep tray that has all the figurines that are, way too big. These are all the 2x2 or the guys who just have ridiculous capes and they just take up so much space. I have them all of these guys inside this deep tray here. And then over here to the other side, I've got two different trays here. One's deeper than the other one. You see that? But in here, I've got my pets, and I've got all the mini bosses that I will find in this box. So the way that I like to keep, normally I like to keep all my stuff inside of one box, but because this game simply has too many miniatures, I've had to split it up amongst the boxes. So what I like to do is this box is the hero box. All the heroes are here. Everything that, like when I play a game with my friends or family, I give them this box, and then I take the other two boxes for myself, because the other two boxes have the monsters. So I know which monsters I'm looking for, or whenever I'm setting up a game, this is all I need, this is all they need. So that if they go through the hero deck and they say, oh, I want to pick this hero, that hero's in here. So if, I want to pick one of these heroes that are also a mini boss, I have all the mini boss cards here, and their treasure cards, and their arcade variants and such and so forth, all here. And then the pets. So that's one little, this is the smaller tray. And then over here, I have just a deeper tray of creeps and Gearys and their applicable cards. A lot of creeps in here. And that's just like, this is like all purpose, you know. Anything can go here. And that's where I can put dice or whatever. Or more heroes. But then under that, see, I've got more stuff going on here. So, like I said, I've got extra stuff. So I have a bunch of slime jellies here. So I've got an extra set of these guys because I thought they'd be a fun creep to mess around with. So with these slime jellies, I've got also a bunch of treasure boxes and boo booties. Just all of that's right here. And this is the smaller sort of tray here. And then in this big old tray, just a bunch of all the other heroes that can fit there. Like I said, these are all the heroes in the game. So, they all fit. Minus, you know, the Glimmer Ranger, Minstrel, and Herald that are out on the board currently. I still have that set up. But yeah, this is what I've got. And everything just kind of fits. You just plop that right on top. Plop that right there. Just like that. Everything just fits. Put that there. There you go. So yeah, it's got room for everything, all the dice, all my, everything that I possibly need. Hero box. Everything's in there. Oops, hit the camera. As for everything else, so I put them inside of here. And the core box from the original base game. Like I said, if you don't have this, then you know, whatever you can use, whatever boxes you can find, or you know, just make a box out of foam tray. Why not? But what I used to do actually before that, before I used this tray system, I used to just keep the boxes, like the Roxor expansion and the Vondrak Manor boxes. I just kept those, and all the models that were from that expansion, I just left them in there with the cards and all that. So I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. You know, just kind of keep everything where it's supposed to be. Otherwise, you can try coming up with a foam tray like I have. So here, I've got, look at that. This is the other tile set. Cut up enough space for that, and here we go. So here I've got different monster trays set up. I've got 2 Kobold Warrens. I've got the Drake, not the Drake, the Claw Shrine. Here's where the Salt Pillar would go. I've got the mini bosses and bosses with all their applicable cards where they are. Here's the Fire Pillar. And I think, yeah, just the Kobold Warren cards also just left off to the side. So otherwise, I have the cards. If you can kind of see under there, the cards are under all the miniatures. So it's all in one spot. And of course, I went with modular designs because I like that. So this you can just pick up, bam, put that to the side, and under that we've got even more goodies. Got all the spider, the pumpkin shrine. There's one of the funguses, one of the goblins, or not the goblins, one of the bramble knights, and the rock troop, all right here. What I wanted to do originally is because some of these I have doubles of. I wanted to have them all in one box, but I figured that, well, I couldn't fit the sizes. That was probably the biggest problem that I had. But otherwise, I mean, bam, just all of that right there, one box, and just did you see how it just fits? It's just so square, so nice, and there's even kind of like extra space here to put like bigger models or whatever, but just had it. I think it was, I was really proud of myself when I made that. And then here, put these guys off to the side. Core box, same situation kind of going here. Got the original Forgotten King. And here, yeah, I just have a bunch of extra space. So here I've got I got so much space here that I didn't even finish it. see, this is the foam core that I'm talking about. I think this I even spray painted to be black, because you see right there, it's white. So if you actually go out to, you know, Michael's or whatever to get this foam stuff, there's different colors and such, but the whitest is the cheapest, and it's also not just the cheapest monetary wise, it's kind of cheap if you don't have a good blade. Like if you got a box cutter as compared to like a good X-Acto knife. So I mean, the black one cuts easier, it's not cleaner. You get these nice cuts, otherwise you get like really frayed cuts. It's not the biggest of deals, but you know, just go for the cheap stuff. It's pretty good. But yeah, here I've got a lot of the bigger models, the bigger miniatures, another Bramble Knight spawn, the tree people, another pumpkin patch, the zombie spawn, the trolls, another fungus spawn, and then the other bosses. And you see, I've still got, I don't know if you can really see that. I can even see it in my own video. But there's just space for days here. And these, like, if you wanted to make this, all you need is the foam core, a good straight edge, a good X-Acto knife, and regular white glue. It actually just like glues really well. Like this is all just held together with white glue, and it's really sturdy. Unless, you know, of course you put a lot of force into it. But like this one just didn't even take any brains. It's just making boxes. Just picked what fit, pick boxes, put all the miniatures in there, put all their pickable cards, so it's all in one spot. And that's how I keep control of all my miniatures. So I know where they all are. I know where all the cards are that apply to them. And that way, like I said, because as a console player, I know what monster spawns I want, so I can see all these and be like, okay, pick that one. All the cards are right here. Good. And even if I, you know, gave it to someone who wanted to be a console player, they could find everything. It's all in one spot, and that's really helpful. The only thing that are not with the bosses is all the Explorer cards that go with them, that being inside the regular core box. But otherwise, it's all here. And this is the system that I devised for how to protect my miniatures. And remember, like, so the setup that I have here for the Forgotten King, like, if you just have Forgotten King, I think this setup could actually work really well for you. Because, like I said, I've got every single hero model in here. Every single one. The only heroes that I'm missing are the Gladiator, which I can't remember his name, and Soda Pop Candy. Everything else is in here, and anything else that can be a hero is in here, from the Big Boris and the Trents, such and so forth. Everybody's here. Everybody that can be a hero is in this box. So even if you took all that out and you left space, like I said, I still have space here in this tray for anything else. And because I've got nothing but slimes there, you can put anything else there. Maybe just creeps, so that this tray is open for whatever. Like, the way that I made this was just kind of measuring out what the tallest thing was that was going to be in that tray, and then cut to just above that, and then leaving space for everything else here. You know, to really put these specifications online, I don't think I could do that, but maybe if enough people ask, I can really put the time in to do it, because I didn't measure this out specifically. You know, I didn't put hard numbers to all this stuff. The only thing that was measured out was measuring from the top here of how much the tiles would take, and then subtracting that plus the booklets. And then from there, I just kind of went, Alright, so this is what the spot that I have to work with. This is the width of a card that I'm going to work with. I'm going to cut out something that's going to block the in-between here. How tall does that need to be? Give or take, it's going to be like this much. Put it there up against the card. Just glue it in, glue it in. Especially here with this miniature cards here. That piece of core is just like right up against it, so it's very snug. Like I didn't measure that out, I just slapped it right. I put all the cards there, pressed it up against it, put the glue, put it back in. And that's kind of how I did it. But this is what I use. I think it works wonders because everything is really nice. And yeah, it all has its place, so when everything goes back in, you can find it.